This is Hitler and Edward VIII. Months after abdicating the throne, the Duke of Windsor shocked the world by meeting Adolf Hitler in Germany. It fueled allegations that Edward sympathized with the Nazis, particularly after claims that he told Germany to keep bombing Britain. But what really happened behind closed doors, and how close did the former king come to compromising Britain's safety? How did Winston Churchill respond? This is the shocking story of Britain's traitor king. The scene is set in October 1937, less than a year after King Edward VIII shocked the world by abdicating the British throne to marry the American divorcee Wallis Simpson. Stripped of his crown and exiled as the Duke of Windsor, Edward made a spectacularly ill-advised decision. He accepted an invitation to tour Nazi Germany as the personal guest of Adolf Hitler. This wasn't just a quiet holiday. The trip was meticulously arranged by Nazi officials, particularly Propaganda Minister Joseph Goebbels and Reich Labor leader Robert Ley, to serve as a massive propaganda coup. The former King of England, a man they saw as sympathetic to their cause and potentially a future puppet ruler, was to be paraded across the country. The two-week tour saw the Windsors treated like genuine royalty, the very status the Duchess had been denied in Britain. They were greeted with cheering crowds, lavish banquets, and a constant stream of high-ranking Nazi officials, including Hermann Göring and Goebbels. Edward, who openly admired the Nazi regime's apparent success in reducing unemployment and had a known fear of communism, seemed all too willing to overlook the rising tide of anti-Semitism and brutality. The tour culminated in a dramatic meeting at Hitler's mountain retreat, the Berghof, in the Bavarian Alps. The crucial conversation between the Duke of Windsor and Adolf Hitler took place privately for over an hour, with Hitler's interpreter Paul Schmidt present. While the exact official transcript of this meeting was reportedly lost or destroyed by the Nazis, accounts from Schmidt and others offer a chilling glimpse into the discussion. On the surface, the discussion was supposedly about social conditions and labor welfare, which Edward had claimed was the official purpose of his trip. This topic allowed Hitler to showcase the perceived success of the German Labor Front's projects, which the Duke had praised throughout the tour. The main political thrust of Edward's involvement was his long-held belief that he could be a peacemaker between Britain and Germany. Edward expressed hope for a fraternal relationship between the soldiers and peoples of the two nations. This played directly into Hitler's calculations. Hitler viewed Edward as the only Englishman he would seriously negotiate with for peace, and believed that had Edward remained king, an alliance between Britain and the Third Reich would have been possible. Critically, the meeting was non-committal on any actual political or military alliance, but it also offered no public condemnation of Nazi ideology or actions from the former King of England. Edward was either too naive, too self-absorbed, or too sympathetic to speak out against the oppression. The meeting ended on a pleasant note, with Hitler famously remarking that the Duchess would have made a good queen. Following the visit, Edward sent a thank-you letter to Hitler, further cementing the scandal. The true gravity of this meeting and the Duke's sympathies would be revealed during World War II. Secret Nazi files, known as the Marburg Files, discovered by the Allies after the war, contained detailed German reports and correspondence regarding the Duke of Windsor. These documents painted a damning picture. The Nazis planned an operation, codenamed Operation Willy, to kidnap the Duke and Duchess while they were in Portugal in 1940 and install Edward as a puppet king of Britain after a German conquest. The German ambassador in Lisbon reported that the Duke was convinced that if he had remained on the throne, war would have been avoided, and that he characterized himself as a firm supporter of a peaceful arrangement with Germany. Most shocking were reports suggesting the Duke had advocated for the continued severe bombing of Britain, the Blitz, as the best way to make his home country ready for peace with Germany. The British government, led by Winston Churchill, was so alarmed by Edward's indiscreet remarks and the possibility of him being used as a pawn that he was effectively exiled to the Bahamas as governor, where he could do the least damage. Churchill was not subtle in his dealings. He informed the Duke that he was a serving major general and that his appointment as governor was a direct military order which, if ignored, would lead to a court-martial for insubordination. This ultimatum forced the Duke and Duchess to leave neutral Europe, where German agents were plotting their capture under Operation Willy, and relocate to the remote, militarily inconsequential colony for the duration of the war. The goal was to place 3,000 miles of ocean between the former king and the enemy, thus neutralizing him as a figurehead for any Nazi-supported peace movement. If you enjoyed this short documentary, please do subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thank you, and see you next time.